andito na tayo. This is our last topic for purpose number 4, yung you were shaped for serving God. Ang purpose number 5 is about missions. So medyo maganda rin. 5 lessons na lang doon. Ito na last 5 lessons natin sa purpose-driven life. So ang last topic natin is God's power in your weakness. How do we understand weakness? Dahil lahat tayo may weakness. Walang exempted dyan. Walang makapagsabi na wala siyang weakness. Lahat tayo mga tao, lahat tayo ay may weakness sa mga buhay natin.
Yung ulit, may weakness.
So, let's try to understand how kasi pag when it comes to weakness, what comes first in our mind is yung kasalanan na, no? Yung madali kang magkasala dahil weakness mo. Ganon. Pero weakness is not a sin. Yun ang isipin natin. Ang weakness kasi natin, inbuilt yun. Nasa atin yun eh. And God has a purpose for that weakness. Tingnan natin ngayon kung paano natin maggamit. How can we use this weakness for the glory of God? Because as I've said earlier, we all have weaknesses. But God has a purpose for this weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9, I am with you, that is all you need. My power shows up best in weak people. So doon maipapakita ng Panginoon yung power niya sa weakness ng mga tao. Hindi ko kasi kung may strength ka, if you already have the strength, you don't need God. Yeah, kasi magaling ka na eh. So hindi mo na kailangan ng Panginoon. Doon mo kailangan ang Panginoon, yung power ng Panginoon para maipakita for God to show His power in your life doon sa weakness mo. Okay, let's try to ano ba itong mga weaknesses na ito? Ano ba ito? God loves to use weak people. Okay, so everyone has weaknesses and everyone has imperfections. May mga physical weakness, ito yung handicap, yung mga disability, no? Physical weakness. May emotional weakness, ito yung mga trauma natin. Yung mga si Ate Yoli, medyo nasaktan niya ngayon emotionally. May sakit siya na dala-dala. Okay? Then intellectual, hindi naman tayo lahat magaling eh. Di ba? Hindi naman tayo lahat matalino. So there are some of us who has intellectual weakness then. And there is spiritual weakness. Ito yung we are prone to sin. Madali tayong magkasala because of our weakness. Yung spiritual weakness na yan. So let us all, I encourage everyone to identify our own weaknesses. Kung kailangan natin isulat yan, if we need to list it down, because we know ourselves. We know our weaknesses. We know where we easily fall. Yung mga nagsasabing, lalo na sa mga seniors, yung mga nagsasabing nalalaglag yung prutas, that can be your weakness. No? So let's try to identify our weakness para malaman natin kung saan tayo hihingi ng tulong sa Panginoon. Because we cannot just take it for granted na magiging excuse na lang ang weakness natin. No, because we cannot make our weakness as an excuse to sin. Hindi pwedeng gamitin natin 'yon. Dahil iba ang purpose ng Panginoon sa mga weakness natin. Bro, hindi ko paharap daw ng bro. Yan. Ito yung karaniwan natin ginagawa with our weakness. We deny our weakness, we defend them, we excuse them, we hide them, and we resent them. As much as possible, we don't want our weakness to show. Na huwag natin ipakita kasi nahihiya tayo sa mga weaknesses natin. This is a normal response ng tao, no? Na i-deny natin. But if we do that, we are preventing God from using them the way He desires. Dapat hindi natin itago yung mga weaknesses natin. Because God has a purpose for them and God can be glorified sa weaknesses natin. Okay? So, if we try to deny our weaknesses, it's not from God. Kasi tinatakpan natin, tinatago natin. God wants us to give it to Him. Ibigay natin yung weakness natin na yun so that He can show His power through that weakness. Through that weakness. So, if we want God to show His power in us, even in our weaknesses, we need to open it up. We need to show it to Him. We need to give it to Him. May example tayo mamaya kay Paul kung paano niya ginamit yung weakness niya. God has a different perspective on our weaknesses. We think that He only wants to use our strengths, but He also wants to use our weaknesses for His glory. Ito yung karaniwan na concept ng lalo ng mga Kristiyano. Kasi magaling ako dito, ako gagamitin ng Diyos. No? Kasi magaling akong kumanta or magaling akong maggitara, God can use me there. Pero the truth is tinatakpan mo yung weaknesses mo. Yes, God can use your strengths, but He can fully show His power kung gagamitin niya yung weakness niya na meron ka. So it is not just our strengths that God is interested in. He is more interested of your weakness. Bakit? Doon niya maipakita yung power niya. Doon niya maipakita yung glory niya kung paano niya gagamitin yung weakness mo na yan. Isaiah 55:9, my thoughts and my ways are higher than yours. So kung iniisip natin na itong weakness natin ay hindi kailangan ng Panginoon, we need to think again, no? Because God's thoughts, God's perspective of our weaknesses is different than our perspective. How we understand our weaknesses is different as how God sees it. Kaya kailangan we do not need to be ashamed of our weakness. Because God can work there in our weakness. Again, kung ang iniisip natin is itong weakness ko kasi na ito dapat huwag ko na lang isabi or huwag ko na lang ipakita dahil weak ako sa area na ito. No, God is thinking different. God's ways are higher. Okay? At iba ang isip ng Panginoon when it comes to weakness. As how we perceive it, how we think of our weakness, God is thinking differently. Your weaknesses are not an accident. God deliberately allowed them in your life for the purpose of demonstrating His power through you. So hindi yun aksidente na meron kang weakness, no? It can be physical, yung pinakita natin kanina, physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual. They are there for a purpose. Hindi yun parang andoon na lang. God allowed it to be there. Yung weakness na yan, God allowed it to be there in you because He wants to use it for the purpose of demonstrating His power. God wants to use yung weakness na yun para ma-demonstrate yung power niya. No? So, there is nothing to be ashamed of our weakness. As long as we know how to give it to the Lord. Mahihiya lang tayo kung ang weakness natin is gagamitin natin na excuse para hindi makapag-serve sa Panginoon. Okay? But again, God has a purpose and He wants to demonstrate His power. Dahil kayang-kaya niya yung weakness mo na yan. Doon maipakita ng Panginoon. God will be able to show His power to a surrendered weakness. Yung naibigay natin na weakness sa Panginoon. Doon siya kikilo sa buhay mo. Doon sa weakness na yun. 1 Corinthians 1:27, God purposely chose what the world considers weak in order to shame the powerful. We know of this verse. Na ginagamit ng Panginoon yung mga mahihina para ipapahiya yung mga nagmamagaling. Yung mga nagsasabing magaling sila. Yung walang tinitingnan na para bang those people who do not think that they have faults in their own. Maraming incidents, maraming kwento sa Bible of how God used ordinary people. No? Those who are not intellectuals, those who are not strong. May mga examples tayo mamaya doon. God has never been impressed with strength and self-sufficiency. So hindi nai-impress ang Panginoon sa kung may mga strengths na tayo na sarili natin. In fact, He is drawn to people who are weak and admit it. Yung mga taong tinatanggap na mahina ako sa lugar na ito. Kailangan ko ang tulong ng Panginoon in my weakness.
Amen.
In Matthew, this is yung Beatitudes, Matthew, yung first na blessed, blessed, blessed. Those are the ones that the poor in spirit. Ito yung ibig sabihin, those who are weak. Yung poor in spirit. It says that blessed are the poor in spirit. Okay? For they will be called children of God. So those people who admit that they are weak, and those people who know how to submit their weakness to the Lord, they are blessed. Ibibless sila ng Panginoon dahil gagamitin ng Panginoon yung weakness nila to show His power and to show His glory. If God only uses perfect people, nothing would ever get done. Because none of us is flawless. Kung mga perfect lang ang gagamitin ng Panginoon, walang mangyari. Kasi wala namang perfect sa atin talaga. Diba? God would rather use yung mga weak na mga tao who knows how to depend on Him. Who knows how to get strength from the Lord because of their weakness. Mas lalong gagamitin ng Panginoon yun kaysa mga taong nagmamalaki na may strength sila. God is never limited by our limitations. He enjoys putting His great power into ordinary containers. May verse dito. I mean, dito tayo minsan na ano eh. Because we are in the topic of service. Sometimes we feel we cannot serve God because of our limitations. Ito yung ginagamit nating excuse na I cannot serve God because I am weak. I cannot serve God because I don't have the strength. I don't have the intellect. I don't have the spiritual strength to do things, no? Yung sabi nga ni Pastor, excusology. Yung ginagamit natin. Maraming mga Kristiyano na ginagamit yung weakness nila as an excuse not to serve the Lord. At hindi natutuwa ang Panginoon. God is more interested sa mga taong weak na magpapagamit sa Kanya. Sa mga taong nag-iisip na, Lord, hindi ako magaling sa area na ito. Pero kung gusto mo akong gagamitin mo ako. That is where God is glorified. That is where God is interested. Yung mga tao, kaysa mga nagmamagaling na mga tao. We are like clay jars in which this treasure is stored. The real power comes from God and not from us. Yung clay jar, ano yun eh? Fragile, madaling mabasag, di ba? Yung mga paso, madaling mabasag yun. So we are just like clay jars. Na we don't have strength on our own. Madali tayong mabasag. But if our power comes from God, magagamit tayo. If we acknowledge na yung weakness natin or if we acknowledge na yung power ng Panginoon ay mas malaki sa weakness natin, then we can be used by God. We will shine our light even if we are weak kung na-surrender natin yung weakness na yun. Kung magpapagamit tayo sa Panginoon despite sa weakness natin. Ito yung sinabi ko kanina. We are fragile and flawed and break easily, but God will use us if we allow Him to work through our weaknesses. It is a matter of giving our weakness to God, not making it as an excuse. If we really want to serve God, tapos ang titingnan natin ay weakness natin, hindi tayo makapag-serve talaga. We need to surrender this weakness to the Lord for Him to work through us, through our weaknesses. Kayang-kaya ni Lord yung mga weaknesses natin. Again, ulitin ko, they should not be an excuse for us not to serve God. Okay, first, ano ang gagawin natin sa mga weakness natin? No? Establish na ba sa atin na may mga weakness tayo?
Amen.
Lahat tayo. Okay? Okay na tayo doon. Okay? Unang gawin natin is admit our weakness. Tanggapin natin na may mga kahinaan tayo. Huwag natin itago. We don't even need to defend them or hide them. We need to admit them, own up to our imperfections, and stop pretending na magaling tayo. And yung sinabi ko kanina, we need to identify personal weaknesses instead of denial and making excuses. Kailangan natin malaman at kailangan natin aminin sa mga sarili natin that we have these weaknesses in ourselves. At kailangan natin malaman kung ano yon. If you just try to be vague about it, na sabihin mo lang, mahina kasi ako, Lord, eh. No? But you are not able to identify kung ano yung kahinaan mo, walang mangyari sa'yo. You need to pinpoint kung ano yung weakness mo na yun. Dapat bigyan mo ng pangalan kung ano yung weakness na yan. Put a name on it and surrender it to the Lord. Pero kung puro ka lang excuses, puro ka lang denial, puro ka lang sabi mahina kasi ako, walang mangyari sa atin. Okay? We need to identify and we need to admit our weaknesses. Okay? So tama na yung mga pretensions. Lahat naman tayo eh. Bakit? The question, bakit tayo mahihiya kung lahat naman tayo may weaknesses eh? Bakit pa tayo magmamagaling kung hindi naman tayo magaling? Okay? What God wants for us is to admit it. Kasi may purpose ang Panginoon sa weakness na yan. Pero kung itatago mo yun, God will not be able to use His purposes because you are hiding it. You are defending it. Instead of admitting it.
Bakit kaya, Brother Manny, I mean, let's admit it publicly at saka culturally, para bang isang malaking kasalanan o isang malaking kabawasan ng pagkatao mo
Kung may weakness.
pag pinakita mo yung weakness. For example na lang, halimbawa sa church leader, pastor, elders, para bang kapag nakita nila yung weakness ng mga namumuno sa atin, para bang ewan ko, no?
Parang malaking kasalanan.
Malaking kasalanan o baka hindi sa tao, baka tayo mismo mga leader ay
Mm-hmm.
merong pananaw na kapag nalaman nila yung weakness nila, naku baka mamaya may stumble sila.
Mm-hmm.
Pero the truth of the matter ay hindi naman talaga kasalanan.
Yeah.
Mindsetting siguro culturally na meron tayong culture na kapag sinabi, kasi parang ano ngayon no? Ang culture ngayon para bang a culture of survival of the fittest, no? Ang sikat yung pinakamalalakas sa modern world, ang tinitingala yung malalakas, magaganda. Yan yung mga walang kapintasan. Yan ang kultura eh. Pero in spiritual world, hindi. Diba? Sa spiritual world, hindi. Hindi yung matataas ang natataas. Hindi yung malalakas ang natataas, kung hindi yung mga mahihina na ginagamit ng Panginoon.
Okay, so uulitin ko, I would like to emphasize that weakness is not a sin. Yeah, hindi yun kasalanan. Maging kasalanan lang yun kung magpapa-apekto ka sa weakness na yun. Or if you do something about that weakness instead of admitting it and giving it to the Lord. Okay, may two great confessions sa New Testament. When we admit our weaknesses, isa yung kay Peter, isa yung kay Paul. Sabi ni Peter, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." He confessed it. No? And sabi ni Paul, "We are only human beings like you." Ano ang connection dito sa weaknesses natin? Itong mga confessions na ito.
Okay.
If we want God to use us, we must know who He is and know who we are.
Okay.
Dapat malaman natin, makilala natin kung sino yung Diyos natin at makilala natin kung sino tayo. Through the confessions ni Paul at ni Peter kanina, sabi ni Peter, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God."
Okay.
Kinonfess niya yun. At sabi ni Paul, balikan ko, sabi ni Paul, "We are only human beings." Inadmit ni Paul na mga tao lang tayo. May mga weaknesses tayo. We need to confess both if we want to be used by God. Yan. If we want God to use us, we must know who He is. Kilala naman natin kung sino yung Panginoon natin. At kilala na ba natin yung mga sarili natin or nagpapanggap pa rin tayo hanggang ngayon? Nasa denial pa rin tayo na may mga weakness tayo. Okay? So, kilalanin natin yung mga sarili natin, but una-una, kilalanin natin yung Diyos na pinagsisilbihan natin. We need to know the God that we are serving. We need to know who He is, and we need to know who we are. Yung discrepancy ng dalawa, na napakalaki ng Diyos na pinagsisilbihan natin, Son of the Living God, at mga tao lang tayo. We are just creatures. If we fail to realize this too, hindi tayo magamit-gamit ng Panginoon. Because papasok pa rin dyan, if we do not realize and recognize who we are, ang tendency is magmamalaki tayo, na magaling tayo. At again, hindi interesado ang Diyos sa mga taong nagmamalaki. Kasi hindi niya magamit-gamit yan.
Hallelujah.
Hindi ma-display yung power niya sa mga taong yun. Arvin, is alright? Tagalog? Makakaindi ka naman. I don't know with the J12. Are you alright? Okay, so number 1, admit our weakness. Number 2, be content with our weakness.
Okay.
Ano ang sabi ni Paul? I am glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ may work through me. Since I know it is a call for Christ's good, I am quite content with my weaknesses. Content with my weaknesses. Parang solve si Paul na i-admit yung mga weaknesses niya. Hindi siya nahihiya, but he said, I am glad to boast about my weaknesses. Dahil doon lang maipakita ng Panginoon. Okay? So yung mga weaknesses natin, again, huwag natin ikahiya. Hayaan na natin ang Panginoon to work through our weaknesses. Anong magagawa ng weakness natin? Our weaknesses cause us to depend on God. Dahil weak tayo, kaya tayo lumalapit sa Panginoon. No? 2 Corinthians 12:10, I am quite happy about the thorn. Sabi to ni Paul, for when I am weak, then I am strong. The less I have, the more I depend on Him. So solve talaga si Paul sa sarili niya kahit alam niya may weaknesses siya. It didn't hinder him to serve Christ. Yung weaknesses niya yun were not a reason para hindi siya magiging great man of God. No? Because he knows how to depend on God through his weaknesses. So dapat ito, pag na-identify na natin yung weakness natin, we need to depend on God for that weakness. Sabihin natin sa Panginoon, Lord, mahina ako sa area na ito. Mahina ako sa bagay na ito. But I would like to depend on you. Kung gagamitin mo ako in this area, then show your power. Doon maipakita ng Panginoon yung glory niya. So, one positive effect ng weakness sa mga buhay natin is it causes us to depend on God.
Mm-hmm.
Dapat, because of our weakness, lalapit tayo sa Panginoon. Okay? When we recognize that we are weak, it's the time to go near to God and depend on Him. Next, our weaknesses prevent arrogance.
Okay.
Hindi tayo pwedeng magyabang sa mga weaknesses natin. Kaya nga natin tinatago . Di ba? Kaya natin dinideny. So, ito yung isang positive na makukuha natin sa weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:7, so I wouldn't get a big head. I was given the gift of handicap to keep me in constant touch with my limitations. Dahil alam natin na may weaknesses tayo, hindi tayo pwedeng magmalaki. Lalo na sa mga sarili natin. So, it prevents us from being arrogant. Kung na-identify mo yung weakness mo. Next, our weakness encourages fellowship between believers. Paano? How did our weakness nakapag-fellowship? While strength breeds an independent spirit, our limitations show how much we need each other. Dahil limitado tayo, dahil may weakness natin, kailangan natin yung tulong ng mga kapatiran natin. So, it encourages fellowship. Kaya tayo lumalapit sa iba dahil nagpapatulong tayo because we are weak in that area. Lumalapit tayo sa kay pastor, sa mga leaders, sa mga taong kakilala natin na makakatulong sa atin. So, hindi natin ina-isolate yung mga sarili natin, but because we identified our weakness, nakapag-encourage tayo ng fellowship. Dahil lumalapit tayo sa kapatiran natin because of our weakness. Okay? So, our limitations show how much we need each other. If we know na weak tayo sa area na ito at may nakita tayong kapatiran na medyo malakas, lalapit tayo doon para magpatulong tayo. Unless may pride ka na lang sa buhay mo. Na hindi ka marunong humingi ng tulong. Yeah. But our weakness is supposed to encourage us to have fellowship. To open up ourselves. Kasi nga, ang strength it brings independent. Pag may strength ka kasi, hindi mo kailangan yung ibang tao Kung alam mong malakas ka hindi mo kailangan yung tulong, hindi mo kailangan yung advice ng iba because you know you have strength in a particular area of your life. But if you realize that you have weakness, the tendency is lalapit. Lalo na sa church. Ito dapat ang culture ng church. Na kung may nakikita tayong weakness sa sarili natin, then we know someone sa kapatiran that can help us. Dapat free tayo na lalapit doon at hihingi ng tulong. Okay. Next, our weakness increase our capacity for sympathy and ministry. Ano ang ibig sabihin nito? Increase our capacity for sympathy and ministry. Other people are going to find healing in our wounds. Dito na tayo. Kung pinagdaanan natin yung mga weaknesses natin, dito tayo makapagbigay ng comfort sa iba. Kung may mga dinaanan na tayong mga pagsubok or mga trials sa buhay natin, kahit nag-fail man tayo sa trials that we have gone through, but because we have that experience at nakita natin na weak tayo doon, we will be able to share that. And we will be able to understand other people who have the same weakness. Kaya may sympathy tayo sa ibang tao. We will be able to show compassion sa mga taong alam natin na yung weakness ay pareho sa weakness natin. Okay? Dahil mas maintindihan natin Mas maintindihan natin yung pinagdaanan ng kapatiran dahil pinagdaanan natin. Okay? So, another positive area, another positive aspect of weakness is we will have sympathy sa mga taong may mga weakness which is the same as the weakness of ours. Or kahit ibang weakness man yon, pero naintindihan natin, kaya nga sinasabi natin na may pinagdadaanan kasi. Di ba? Yung mga taong, those people who shared with us, kaya mas naintindihan natin yung mga taong may pinagdadaanan because we ourselves have experienced it. No? Mas malawak, mas madali nating intindihan yung kapatiran natin na dumadaan sa pagsubok because we have gone through it. Okay? So our weakness increased the capacity for sympathy and ministry. Our greatest life messages and our most effective ministry will come out of our deepest hurts. Kaya tayo effective sa ministry natin dahil sa mga pinagdaanan natin, sa mga experiences natin. No? Effective tayo in sharing the gospel. Effective tayo in sharing sa natin. Effective tayo dito sa church, no? Because naintindihan natin or pinagdaanan natin. Okay? Excuse muna natin sa ating mic. Okay. Nakuha natin ito, no? We will have more sympathy towards other believers, towards the brethren, and we will be effective in our ministry because of our weakness. Okay, ito yung mga example sa Bible. All God's giants were weak people. Yung mga kakilala natin, yung mga malalaking tao sa Bible, those examples in the Bible, those big names, they were weak people. Si Moses, ano ang ginawa ni Moses? Pinatay niya yung isang Egyptian. Di ba? He is temperamental. Pero anong sinabi sa Numbers 12:3? He is the humblest man on earth. Bakit? Yung weakness niya, binigay niya sa Panginoon. He surrendered his weakness. He surrendered his temperament sa Panginoon. Ano pang ibang ginawa ni Moses? Nagalit ang Panginoon sa kanya because God's instruction to him was to speak to the stone para magbigay ng tubig. Pero anong ginawa niya? Nagalit siya, hinampas niya yung bato. So hindi niya inobey ang Panginoon. Okay? Ano pang ginawa ni Moses? Biniyak niya yung 10 Commandments dahil sa galit niya sa mga tao. So temperamental si Moses. But why did he become a giant in God's kingdom? Because he admitted his weakness. Sinurrender niya sa Panginoon. Okay? Si Gideon,
Mahinang tao.
sabi niya, Lord, galing ako sa mahina na angkan eh. Hindi mo ako pwedeng gamitin. Insecure and low self-esteem. Pero Judges 6:12, mighty man of valor ang description sa kanya. Bakit? Natalo niya ang 32,000 armies sa 300 armies niya. Ano nga ba yung ratio noon? 1:450? Na ang isang soldier ni Gideon has to fight 450 people. Pero nanalo sila. Okay? So yung insecurity and low self-esteem ni Gideon, God was able to show His power sa weakness na yun. No? Na-display yung glory, na-display yung power ng Panginoon in his insecurity because he surrendered it to the Lord. Nagpapagamit siya sa Panginoon. Next, si Abraham. Fearful. Matakutin si Abraham. Di ba 2 beses niyang sinabi na si Sarah ay kapatid niya? Para hindi lang sila, nagsinungaling siya. Dahil natakot siya. Pero ano ang nangyari sa kanya? He is the father of those who have faith sa Romans 4:11. At napakalaki ng nagawa ni Abraham. No? He is a giant in God's kingdom. Sino pa? Si Peter. Lalapit ka sa Panginoon, tatanggalin kita ng tainga mo. Yeah? Do you understand it? You know when one of the Roman soldiers come near to Jesus Christ, he struck the ear of that soldier. Why? He is impulsive. No? That's his weakness. But because he wants God to use him, he becomes a rock. Ano nga yung sinabi doon? Peter, upon this rock, I will build my church. Nagiging rock siya ng faith, ng Christian faith. Si David. No, it's not you, David, yeah? He was, ang nagiging popular si David because he was an adulterer. Di ba? But because he, again, sinurrender niya yung weakness niya sa Panginoon, he becomes a man after God's own heart. Dahil sinurrender niya yung weakness niya na yun. Then we have other examples. We have Samson, we have Samuel, and we have all the prophets. These people are all weak, but they become giants in God's kingdom. No? Lahat sila may mga weaknesses. But they own up, they admit their limitations, they admit their weaknesses, and they allow God to use them through their weaknesses. No? Hindi nila tinago yung mga weaknesses nila. Hindi nila deny. But they give it to God. Okay. God specializes in turning weaknesses into strengths. He wants to take your greatest weakness and transform it. So ito yung specialty ng Panginoon. yung to turn our weaknesses into strength. Now, I think this, si Sassy, si Junel lang ang nag-SOD dito. One of our topic last week was God is my strength. Okay? Yung isang reflection ko doon is, unless may hinahawakan pa tayo, even katiting na tinitingnan natin sa sarili natin as our own strength, hindi tayo magagamit ng Panginoon. We need to be able to, dito pala si Arvin, nag-ESOD din. Yeah? For God to transform our weaknesses into strength, we need to surrender everything. Dapat walang maiwan na strength sa atin para magamit tayo fully ng Panginoon. The moment we start thinking that I am strong in this area, hindi ka magamit-gamit ng Panginoon. God's power will not be displayed in you dahil may inaangkin ka pa na strength sa sarili mo. Okay? Because kung may inaangkin ka pa, if you are claiming a strength na sarili mo, ang tendency doon is strength ko kasi yun. Yung nagawa ko yun dahil malakas ako doon. And God is not glorified in it. God can only be glorified if His strength is displayed in you. Yung strength niya, hindi yung strength mo.
So kuya, meaning nun literally, physically, mentally din ba?
Lahat. Yung kanina. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
So halimbawa, fasting,
Kahit sa fasting.
tapos mag-sports, halimbawa, pagod ang katawan, tapos doon ka mag-pray na, Lord, I need your strength.
Kahit sa sports. Alam mo naman kung kailan ka pagod na. Di ba? Pero kung kailangan mong to stand, dahil importante, God will give you the strength. Okay? Pero kung gusto mo lang, kahit pagod ka na, gusto mo lang maglaro para makita nila na may strength ka, ibang motivation yun.
Iba rin.
Di ba? Hindi strength ng Panginoon na makikita doon. Dapat yung strength na makikita sa atin is God's strength, hindi yung strength natin. Number 3, honestly share your weaknesses. Mahirap to eh.
Kaya,
Di ba? Bakit pa natin i-share yung mga weaknesses? Weak na nga tayo eh. Weakness na nga, ipa-share pa. Okay? Ministry begins with vulnerability. The more we let down our guard, take off masks, share our struggles, the more God will be able to use us in serving others. Dapat i-share natin. Dapat, yun ang sinabi, as I've been mentioning a while ago, we do not need to cover up our weakness. Okay? May example dito ano bang ginawa dito ni si Paul. Okay? Ano ang sinabi ni Paul sa mga failures niya? When I want to do good, I don't. And when I try not to do wrong, I do it anyway. So sinasabi niya na may mga bagay akong gustong ayaw gawin pero ginagawa ko. At may mga bagay na gusto kong gawin pero hindi ko nagawa. Why? Because of weakness. Pero hindi niya tinatago yun. Sinulat niya Romans 7:19. Yeah? Yung mga bagay na nagawa niya, even if he doesn't want to do it. And his feelings. Sinishare niya yung feelings niya. I have told you all my feelings. 2 Corinthians 6:11. Doon sa sulat niya. At kahit frustrations niya, sinishare niya rin. We were crushed and completely overwhelmed and we thought we would never live through it. Yung frustration nila na yung tinapon sila sa barko. Akala nila hindi na sila mabuhay. So sinishare kahit frustrations and even fears. When I came to you, I was weak and fearful and trembling. So may mga fears si Paul when he was doing his ministry. Pero hindi niya tinatago yun. He was completely honest with his vulnerabilities. It's difficult to share ang vulnerability because sasabihin ng ibang tao mahina ka. No? If you share your vulnerability. Pero iba ang isip ng Panginoon eh. Vulnerability is risky but it is emotionally liberating. Pag i-share mo yung vulnerability mo, makakaginhawa ka ng mas malalim. Opening up relieves stress, diffuses fears, and the first step to freedom. Mas magandang i-share kaysa itatago yung weakness natin. Yun lang ang bottom line doon. Kasi pag itatago mo, isipin ng iba na malakas ka eh, pero naghihirap ka na pala sa loob. Yeah? So it is better to open up than to hide our weaknesses. And when we open up, yung mga weakness natin, kailangan ng humility. Hindi makapag-open up, you will never be able to open up your weaknesses if you are not humble. Kasi ang mayabang na tao, hindi magsasabi na weak siya. It is only the humble who can share their vulnerabilities. But humility is not putting yourself down or denying your strengths. It is being honest about your weaknesses. Hindi ibig sabihin na ina-admit mo na weak ka ay mahina ka. No, it is just owning up. It is just admitting na mahina ka. And that takes humility. The more honest you are, the more of God's grace you get. Kasi ina-admit mo eh. Ina-admit mo na mahina ka, so doon ka papasukan ng power ng Panginoon. Doon sa weakness mo na yun. The more grace you get from God. Kung magiging honest ka lang sa weaknesses natin. Pretentiousness repels, but authenticity attracts. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Kung nag-pretend ka lang, mas lalong lalayo yung mga tao sa'yo. Pero kung authentic ka, nagsasabi ka ng totoo na mahina ka, mas lalo kang lalapitan. Dahil honest ka. Dahil, ano nga sabi sa Tagalog, magpakatotoo ka. Yun. Huwag kang mag-pretend. Dahil kung nag-pretend ka, mas lalong masense kasi ng mga tao yun eh. Kung nagyayabang lang, di ba? Kaya lumalayo yung mga tao. Pero if you're honest, if you're authentic, mas lalo siyang lalapit dahil ina-admit mo yung kahit naan mo. Our strength creates competition but our weaknesses create community. Ang ibig sabihin nun. Pag sinasabi mong may strength ka, pag sinasabi mong malakas ka, may mga tao magipag-compete lang sa iyo na palakasan. May mga tao mag-iisip, dapat mas malakas ako sa kanya. No? Pero if you share your weaknesses, yung sabi ko kanina, people would come near you. People would be attracted to you because you are honest. You are true to yourself. So you would be able to create a ministry, you would be able to create friendships if you are open with your weaknesses. At some point in our life, we must decide whether we want to impress people or influence people. Ito na yung difference of how we deal, how we live our lives. Do we want to impress people or we want to influence people? We can impress people from a distance. Makikita na yung mga strength natin, makikita ng mga tao yun kahit malayo. No? But we must get close to influence them. And when we do that, they will be able to see our flaws. If our objective is just to impress people, hindi na natin pwedeng okay na hindi sila lalapit sa atin eh. Kasi pa-impress lang naman tayo eh. Di ba? But if we want to influence them, if we want to influence them in our faith, kailangan talagang lalapit tayo sa kanila. No? At ang naging, if we go close to them, mas makikita nila tayo. At mas makikita nila yung flaws natin. But that is the way to influence people. No? Hindi lang sila ma-impress sa strengths natin, But we will be able to influence them because they know that we are the same as them na may mga weaknesses din. But we were just able to withstand, we were just able to stand strong in our weakness because maipakita natin na ang strength natin ay hindi sa atin kung hindi sa Panginoon. And that is how to influence them. That is how to influence people. Telling them that behind our weakness is the strength of God. Okay? Mas madaling kung pa-impress lang, okay na. Gagawin mo na kasi may strength ka eh. Makikita at makikita ka ng mga tao. Kaya makikita mo yung mga magagaling, di ba? Pero mas lalapitan mo yung mga taong nag-admit na weak sila pero yung strength nila is galing sa Panginoon. Dahil honest lang sila. Yung apat, glory in your weakness. Medyo ano to. This is countercultural kasi sa culture talaga natin, itatago natin yung weakness natin eh. Pero sabi sa 2 Corinthians 12:5, I am going to boast only about how weak I am and how great God is to use such weakness for His glory. So yung iboboast natin yung weakness natin because God is able to use that weakness for His glory. Okay? That's what it means by glory in your weakness. Hindi naman sa ipagyayabang mo yung weakness mo. No? But you are not ashamed of your weakness. You take glory in your weakness knowing that God was able to use your weakness for His glory. Nagagamit ka despite your weaknesses. Nagagamit ka ng Panginoon kahit may mga weaknesses ka. At naipakita ng Panginoon yung glory niya because of your weakness. Kunti na lang. So instead of posing as self-confident and invincible, let us see ourselves as a trophy of grace. Ipakita natin na nabubuhay tayo sa grace ng Panginoon. Yun lang ang pwede nating maipagmalaki. That is where we can be boastful. No? That I am able to stand here, I am able to live my life because of God's grace. It is not my strength, but it is the grace of God. Mga trophy tayo ng grasya ng Panginoon. Okay? Okay, how do we do that? Jesus understands our every weakness. Hebrews 4:1, and the Holy Spirit helps us in our weaknesses. So, sa mga weaknesses natin, naintindihan tayo ni Jesus Christ. Bakit? Pinagdaanan niya yan. So, naintindihan ng Panginoon yung weaknesses natin because He has gone through it. And at the same time, nagpadala siya ng Holy Spirit to help us in our weakness. So, naintindihan tayo sa weakness natin at may tutulong sa atin sa weakness natin. Okay? Ito ang ano ngayon kasi the most common thing that happens is people will not understand you in your weakness. People will ridicule, pagtatawanan ka ng mga tao sa kung weak ka, di ba? Ito if we have to compare sa statement na to at sa mundo, the world will laugh at your weaknesses. The world will mock you because you are weak. But if you know God, He understands and He helps you in your weakness. So ito yung difference ngayon. If you have God in your life, sigurado kang may iintindi sa'yo sa weakness mo. But if you are not with God, kung nasa mundo ka, expect na pagtatawanan ka sa weakness mo. Kaya nga tayo hindi makapag-share ng weakness natin. Dahil alam natin pagtatawanan lang tayo. But what is good with the children of God, what is good for those who are in the kingdom of God, is that He understands our weakness and He will help us. May tutulong sa atin. Napakalaking benefit kung makikita natin. Yeah?
Ang pagkain, weakness din ko.
Ang pagkain is weakness?
Kapagluto nila.
Kung hindi mo na mapigilan yung sarili mo.
Luto nino.
Yeah? Yung masuka-suka ka na,
Kain.
kakain ka pa rin.
Wala kang patay.
Na-try ko na po yan sa jersey.
Sa JRC.
Hindi ko na kaya. Yung first
Yeah,
time,
it can be a weakness. Food can be a weakness. Yeah.
pag unlimited, no?
Hindi makapigil ka, no?
Hindi na mapigilan.
Hindi na mapigilan.
Pero dapat hindi because it is not a good testimony, it is not a good example.
Pero na.
But if you are struggling with it, if you think that's your weakness, allow God to work that through you. Okay?
Amen.
Sometimes God turns the strength into a weakness to use us even more. Sino nakaalala ng kay Jacob?
Nandun po yung isang God is my strength.
Oo, sa SOD natin. Di ba yung nakipag-wrestle si Jacob sa Holy Spirit because ayaw niyang paalisin hanggat hindi siya nabibless. Kung titignan natin ang story ni Jacob, Jacob was a manipulator when he grew up, di ba? Gusto niya yung mana ni Esau yung brother niya. Na minamanipulate niya, nilulutuan niya, at dinideceive niya. And all his life, Jacob has been running away. Tumatakbo siya dahil natakot siya kay Esau sa kapatid niya, baka papatayin siya.
Mali naman siya talaga.
So all his life, Jacob, at the beginning of his life, Jacob was a manipulator and the rest of his life, he was running away. So kung titingnan natin, may strength si Jacob. Kasi tumatakbo siya eh. No? Until such time that God has to touch his thigh. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng thigh? Ang thigh is the strongest muscle natin. Doon ang strength natin. Di ba? But God has to turn, sometimes has to turn strength into weakness to use us even more. Kailangan niyang ipakita kay Jacob na dapat hindi siya mag-depend doon sa strength niya. Kaya tinapik niya yung thigh niya and all his life, Jacob was walking with a limp. Paika-ika si Jacob all his life. Ano ang ibig sabihin niyo noon? If we want God to bless us and use us greatly, we must be willing to walk with a limp the rest of our life because God uses people. Kailangan ipakita ng Panginoon na hindi niya kakayanin kung wala yung strength ng Panginoon. Jacob was relying on his strength. So God has to touch his thigh para ma-realize ni Jacob na hindi. Mas kailangan ko ang strength ng Panginoon. Kahit pa ika-ika na siya, ano ang nangyari sa buhay ni Jacob? He was the father of the 12 tribes ng Israel. So patuloy na, yung promise ng Panginoon na descendants from Abraham to Isaac, na patuloy sa kanya. Kahit mali siya, di ba? Pero at the end kasi yung kwento na nakipag-wrestle siya sa Panginoon because he wants God's blessings. But God cannot bless him kung nagde-depend siya sa strength niya. So kailangan ipakita ng Panginoon na yung strength mo, kailangan kong gawing weakness yan para makita ng mga tao yung glory. Okay? So, ingat tayo sa mga, lalo na tayo na nagdidepende sa mga, if we are depending on our strength, because God can use our strength into weakness. Kanina pinag-uusapan natin that our weakness can be used as strength if we give it to God. But at the same time, God can use our strength as a weakness if kung i-display man lang, kung gusto niya lang i-display yung power niya. Okay? So, weakness can be used as strength kung isusubmit natin sa Panginoon. And yung strength natin can be used as weakness for the glory of God. Kasi sa tayo mga tao, we have the tendency na mag-own up ng strength natin. Yung magsasabi na, kayang-kaya ko yan. Yung term na yan. Kaya ko yan. No? Because the moment you say na kaya ko yan, nawala na ang Panginoon sa picture. Sarili strength mo na ang tinitingnan mo. Okay? So, God can use both strength and weakness for His glory. Yun na lang, because we are, ang culture kasi natin is, ang weakness is kahihiyan, kaya pinapakita sa atin na dapat hindi. If we know how to give it to the Lord. Yung weakness natin na yun. Okay, yung last slide. God works best when I admit my weakness. So baka God will be able to show His power in us if we admit our weaknesses. Hindi natin tinatago, but sinasabi natin sa Kanya. And my grace is sufficient for you, my power is made perfect in weakness. Okay, so ito na yung babaonin natin na question. Am I limiting God's power in my life by trying to hide my weakness? Hindi ba ako nagamit-gamit ng Panginoon because I am hiding my weakness? Instead na magagamit niya ako sa ministry, but because I am hiding a weakness, hindi niya ako nagagamit. And what do I need to be honest about it? About in order to help others? May mga bagay ba akong dapat maging honest sa sarili ko para makatulong sa iba? Okay? That's our last slide. I hope we learned something this afternoon. And I can only, iba na yung topic natin for the next 5 Wednesdays because it's talking about our missions. Kung paano tayo magiging missionary. It will talk about missions natin for the next 5 weeks. So tapos na yung number 4 natin na purpose. Na ano ang purpose number 4? You were created, you were shaped as a servant of God or to serve God, for serving God. So even in our weakness, makapag-serve tayo sa Panginoon. Hindi lang sa strength natin. Ito yung last na ano natin. We have topics like how to act as a servant and how to think as a servant. Ito yung conclusion natin na even in our weakness, makapag-serve tayo sa Panginoon. Kasi doon mas maipakita ng Panginoon yung glory.
Amen.